Hey team, how we going? It is Kaz from In the Trenches with Kaz, and we're just going to talk this one down for a couple of minutes while we're just waiting to head into this stream. Just some housekeeping here. I hope you're all well. Cheers to Rob out there. It must be a terrible time for a subscriber to be in an industrial accident, for those that don't know, and lost his index finger. It's going to be tough. Tonight's stream is going to be quite interesting. It is not only geared around those that are joining the army, but it's here to keep you in. And tonight we're going to drop a pebble into the water, and hopefully people like Peter Dutton, people like the Chief of Army, people like the Chief of Navy and Air Force, foreign armies, or even the Chief of the ADF himself, Angus Campbell, listens in and gets back to us and says, you know what, these are free. And from anyone that's ever served like Nicole King, like Mr. P, etc., I'm sure that you'd agree after you see this tonight and go, holy shit, that would have made me stay in a bit longer. Maybe not longer than Mr. P, but we've got an introduction coming up in a minute. We'll kick it off and you should be happy. Space Ninja, good to have you here, mate. You know, we all need a ninja, and space is how we go to other planets and ensure the survival of our planetary population and future. Dave D, he's here. Stand fast, that man. Dave D, when you're an officer, you'll be able to implement some of these, and it might make you very happy. Daniel McLear. Hey, Kaz and team, sorry I have to sit this one out. I'm studying for my HSC. Exam starting tomorrow. You know why I didn't study for a single exam? I'm not sure if I was just fairly intellectual and was able to cuff it, or I got in by the arse of my pants. I spent the time looking at other girls in their concentration mode. Melanie went, Fiona Panis, a few of the other girls I had crushes on at the time. Okay, team, let's get into it. G'day, Cameron Parsons. How you going, mate? Parsons knows. Nicole King, it'd be interesting to see what you'd think about some of these things here tonight. I think that they would have kept a lot of people in the military, and it's something that cost us nothing. Righto, here we go. Hey team, how we going? It's Kaz. We're here tonight. We haven't got Lauren here tonight. We've got the call out for Get Well Rob down here. You can see down here, Get Well Rob. And basically, as we said, he lost his finger in an industrial accident, you know, where he works. Poor bugger. He's a fantastic bloke, and I wish him all the best. Wouldn't trade places, but a lot's going on at the moment, guys and gals. You know, the channel's in a position where we've almost done as much as we can do on military. We've got to start looking at evolving into a different part of channel. We gave today a chance for you in community to be able to say what you'd prefer, whether you prefer the streams, whether you prefer shorter videos, which is easy for you, but a lot harder for me. It can take a day to make an 8-minute, 10-minute video, or whether you like a hybrid of both. Because if you get rid of streaming, what you also get rid of is the connectivity from the streamer, the veteran, the message, the communication, the personality, and you lose that. And then it becomes just another polished video script like everyone else and loses its human touch. And we really got to be careful of that, because there's a lot of people here that come because there's somewhere they need to be. Volume's a bit low. Jeez, it looks like it's high as hell here. Right. Mr. Patterson, yep, you are the oldest man here, sir. Maybe it's your volume. Don't know. Let's go, Brandon. Fantastic. Did you see the commercial pilot, Webby, that said it and they tried to get him sacked, but nothing happened to him? Let's go, Brandon. Fantastic one. I'd wear the shirt. I love it. And I subscribe to that. Straight up. Let's have a look at the introduction, and then we'll see what you think. Hey team, how we going? Welcome to One Take Introductions with Kaz, and we're here to tell you tonight, for all of those that are members that are currently serving, thinking about serving, or discharged, that this is the holistic video that is to offer solutions to the reasons why retention is such an issue with the Australian Army. We got you in. You came in not for the money, not for the the perks of being a soldier, but for the calling, following the footsteps of the Anzacs, etc. You didn't know why you wanted to join. It might be to follow a family member. It might be because you want a life of adventure on the last frontier. I get it. I get it, but not everyone will, and they're going to try and talk you into leaving the military. So tonight I'm going to give 10 solutions that the Army could implement, the Ministry of Defence could look at and go, I like that, Kaz, tell me more. Chief of the Army, Chief of the Navy, Chief of the Air Force, or the Chief of the entire ADF, Angus Campbell. I'd be more than willing to sit down and say, how could we implement these things to keep the retention up, to keep the soldiers in, to reward the soldiers for their service, and to keep people in the straight and narrow and not cut off the umbilical cord of service way too early, because we miss and we lose the best soldiers way too early. And a lot of the incentives that would keep people in are free. So let's talk about that tonight. Make sure you subscribe. If you don't, you're a twit. Like if you do down later on. Righto? Can't wait to see what your response to this is, because these are no-brainers, and they're from 1,000 conversations what happened with my mates, my colleagues, my comrades, who got out of the Army too early, most of them, and they were better than me. All right, guys, you don't need to be the best, but you need to finish what you start. That's what we're doing tonight. Take it easy. That's Kaz. One take introductions. Out to you. So team, there we go. So this is all about the things that we could do, the good suggestions, the improves on the things that need fixes, or the fixes for the improves, not to mention the sustains. Okay, we don't work on the good things. We work on the things where we're lacking. So we're going to talk about those tonight. There's 10 things here. I've spoken about these things exhaustively with the soldiers that I served with. Mr. P would probably absolutely agree with these. We're seeing Johnny Weston is here. We're not talking about the Western Rust, Alec Baldwin, sorry. Stevie Webb, we've got the Duke Ultimate. We've got Adzi here, Kaz the Legend. Thanks, mate. We've got the Fat Kangaroo. Mr. P's here, Echo happening. Echo's all gone. Kaz calling the 5th at Ranwick. Thank you, mate. Guys and gals, that's... It's actually in Western Sydney. I was wondering I wasn't shot, actually. Now, I've had some really good conversations in the last day with a lot of our Patreon members too. We're about to get to what this is all about, what you're here for. Joshy Fawns, how you going, you loyal bastard? Good to have you here, mate. Nicole King, hi Ollie. Adam Cameron, there's 2 first names. That'll always confuse the sergeant calling the roll. You're a champion, Kaz. I love the channel, and we love you too. Adam, you shouldn't have let Eve have the apple butt. 40 Mike, g'day buddy, how you going? Evening guys, and the lurker, not so lurky. We see him coming these days because he's in green, because he's a member. Feel free to be a member or go to Patreon and join up team, because this is a channel that gives back to the channel. Costs us a fortune to run this channel. Most of the money we do get is going to go to people we don't know who we support, but most of all the project, which is Daz's farm down in the land of the single mums down in Adelaide. Righto, he's got his hands all over some slimy teats right now, feeding the calves. Jimmy, Kaz, man, how you going, legend? Very good, Jimmy, thank you. And Dan Wilson, guys and girls. Davey Penson from Vietnam, he's been there so many times. More tours than Carlos Hathcock, the world champion sniper. Watched a great video too, by the way, team, on Russian female snipers of WW2 and what happened to them. Now I should bring a video to you too so you can see what happened there. We've got a jaundiced cow here from Reese Smith. Mutsu cow and a sore hand for Kaz. And he's going to say, hey Kaz, I had my virtual assessment session today and it went well. We'll be booked in for the medical in a couple of weeks. Love your videos, mate. Reese, thanks very much, mate. And you're going to do fine. You know, we also had someone get over the line today with their OSB, Officer Selection Board. They only spoke to him for an hour as opposed to a full day and a half that they spoke to Dave D. They really put him through the ringer, but he got through. And we've also got 40 Mike. Great unwashed. Good to have you here, mate. Welcome to the forces. Bam, got you right there. Can we get some thumbs up for Reezy and also for 40 Mike, who's now part of the crew. Guys, you're going to love this channel. It's going to be here for when you get in the army. Instead of going, oh, Kaz, what is there really to watch there anymore? Then I'll be in a van traveling around Australia. Righto, probably getting told clean that van as I bring the conversations and merch to you, to your door, so to speak. What else we got? Let's put something else up in the background, shall we? This is for your viewing pleasure. My mate looks like a fat kangaroo, 3 hands there. You know, the welcome's there to 40 Mike. It is always good to see new members, and it's great to see support for the channel. The only channel that actually gets back to you, I'm sure, as well as what we do. There's a lot of good channels on the internet, but this one is really kiboshed by YouTube. So, what are we going to talk about tonight? Is not just getting you in the military. It's one thing to get you into the military. Most of the time, it's only you that understands that you have a calling, not a requirement for sesterces, for funds. But you want to actually just join the military, the last frontier, do something different, you know, bring out your best. You know, be around people that are like-minded like you. Be a professional athlete because you didn't actually have the skills to hone it into something specific. And that's where this is going to come in. Because the thing is, there is an off-ramp. You know, Nicole King knows about this. Mr. P knows about this. Where your whole career, people are saying you've been in long enough. It's time to get out. Your body is screaming to you too. You can be doing things easier. Do you want to go back to Tully? Do you want to walk into the ocean again? Do you want to be around the dickhead, you know, that's still got 2 years left in his posting that you have to call sir? So I've got these points, and I look forward to seeing if this is something that gets back to the people that need to hear it, because most of these things cost nothing, and they're bloody common sense. We're going to explain those right now. There's 10 of them. Adam, is going to be very hot. Any updates on delivery of the van? Brady, they're saying February now, mate. February to February, March. There's nothing they can do about it, mate. Jordan has been really up front with me from Skyline Campers. You know, fantastic on Instagram. But will we get there? Wrong option, or Asian Wong option, as they would say. We've got Mr. Pete Clayton. Get her to join. What have we got here? Okay, here's our questions. The first one. The one thing that all soldiers love, especially in Townsville, Darwin, not so much probably Brisbane and Sydney when they were there because it's too hard to get to those locations. But that is PT, physical training that we do daily. You know, that as many times as possible should be run in civilian attire, the clothes that you want to wear off base, you know, whether it be swimming on the Strand, whether it be running down the Strand, whether it be running up Castle Hill. Make people compete in a way which is fun, which is different, which has diversity, and allows them to wear what they want to wear. That is a very, very little thing. It doesn't need an instruction. Just make it happen. If someone gets injured, you throw them in their car, drive them to the base, chuck them on the ground and say, he tripped on the Castle Hill. On Trig Point. Lightfoot. It'll get bed soon so I can get up for a 4:30 start. No, you'll be fine, mate. Stay up, bro. Make yourself tired. So PT off base. There's nothing worse than every single day wearing exactly the same thing, running exactly the same course, never seeing single girls walking the opposite way, you know, enjoying their coffee, giving you an occasional wink. What the other one? This one is going to be goddamn controversial. Are you ready for this one, Dave D? Brady, Mr. P, Clayton, Lightfoot, Nicole King. Nicole King, imagine this one. This one probably wouldn't have affected you, Nicole, you know, because the administrational requirements you would have had, this probably would have sucked for you. But if you're a soldier and you are below the rank of sergeant, unless you have been requested to stay behind, I believe that when you are not outfield, it should be a 4-day week only. 1 day per week should be an administrational day, the entire day. You don't even turn up. A 4-day week, because you more than compensate for that by 6 weeks out bush, a month out bush, 2 weeks out bush, Tully, brigade exercise, battalion exercises. I think it's fair enough that instead of giving someone a pay rise, they do a 4-day week. If you need them, you can call them up. And you know what that does? It also gives a way of punishing someone by giving them the requirement to stay back, you know, and assist you as a platoon sergeant, platoon commander, because they're still going to be at work. Okay? But that's how they get work done without getting disrupted by the great unwashed, the soldiers, who will always have something they need. Hey, Carl P's here, is he? Special K, there he is. So a 4-day week. Does anyone think that that would be unfair for those that give so much? I don't think it would be. And that would be a great time for people to be able to take their kid to school. Do PT at maybe a civilian gym instead of, okay, the military gym, etc. That's number 2. The third one, and these are in no specific order. Mr. Dutton, if you're listening, reach out to me. Get on Patreon and you and I could have a conversation. I'll come to Canberra and see you. We still do, Mr. P. It depends on the subject. Okay, 20-year pension incentive. And this shouldn't be 19 years, 20 years, like it is in the UK military. When you get to 20 years, you should be given a pension, which means you don't have to work in something that is demoralising to your ego. You have served the nation for 20 years in uniform, name on your chest, medals on your chest, and the flag on your shoulder, and a tip of your hat, yes please ma'am. I think it's only fair enough that at 20 years that you get a pension that can compensate and allow you to go into maybe a coffee van, maybe work at Bunnings, maybe stack shelves in the middle of the night because you can't sleep, because the Channel 7 choppers chill you to your feet. But I think that'd be a fantastic one. 20 years I think is fair enough, because when you sign up, you don't know what's going to happen in that 20 years. It can be the worst, or it could be just no dramas the whole time. But you deserve a pension at the 20-year mark, I believe, because you are a professional athlete. Remember that. As soon as you can't pass your fitness test, you lose your job. So you've done something for 20 years. Okay, the other one would be we need more transparency on our commissioned officers. What do I mean by that? It doesn't make sense that a 21-year-old officer can write a report on a 34-year-old sergeant, but not the other way around. When there's no supervision of this lieutenant, then the platoon sergeant should be writing something on that lieutenant. The CSM should be writing something on the major. The RSM should be writing something on the commanding officer, holding them accountable, holding the torch up, a mirror up to let them know that I will write something on you too. Okay, so make sure that you don't let the power run to your head. That's important. Don't own the plan. Right, how are we going so far? Is there any questions so far? How many push-ups and sit-ups do I need to join the ADF? Not many. 6 if you're non-arms corps. Infantry, about 8. I'm 15. You've got a bit of time to go, mate. You can do 20. I used to do no less than 100 at BFA, so that should be an indication. You do as many as you possibly can, then try and make it 10 times more. The old DFRDB system. Yep. Bring back DFRDB. Yeah, Dave. There was advantages to it. There's disadvantages as well, depending on whether you get out for medical, where you lose that pension. You lose your lump sum, and then you get it as a pension. MSBS, myself, we lost all of our superannuation, and we just get that as a pension as well. Lucky that I'm dabbling now in crypto as well as the stock market to try and get me a bit of a hand up. That is what a good RSM does. Dave Penson, it is, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's accepted. Carl P, 50 plus push-ups, 100 sit-ups. Don't look at it as doing it for the army, you're doing it for your sex life. We've got Tess Pickle, A-team, got my enlistment on January. That's a good time. Going for infantry as someone who is vertically challenged, 165 centimetres. The pack marching assessments daunt me. If everything's in proportion, mate, you must have a small dick at 165 centimetres. Mate, what I'd recommend to you, Tess Pickle, is you get onto the link below in the remarks area. You get onto Patreon. That goes for everyone that's looking at joining. Get on Patreon, have those conversations that make the massive difference, where you get to hear the truth and get to hear me to speak in a way that YouTube doesn't allow me to speak to you on here. There is no length of great messages that I get from people that have gone on Patreon and either at least been told the truth or achieved where they didn't realise they'd get to by having someone else in their corner. Because that's me in the corner. Anyway, less double standards. We need to have less double standards. What do I mean by that? We've got 2 armies. There is no way we're all one army at all. You know, there is so many different standards. Now, we have females that sign up for 2. We've got guys that are there for 4. We've got fitness tests that are different, but all these people going to the same conflict zones. We need to know that when we look at everyone, that there is a single run time that is allocated to all, accepted by all, and understood by all. We've got call, cell 123. Hey Kaz, how, long time no see. Hope you're well, mate. Quick question, was just wondering your thoughts on firefighter in the army. Looks very interesting. For starters, mate, thank you for your menstrual cow there. Daz has got a farm down below. This might be going towards his farm. Mate, thank you very much. And the answer to your question, firefighters, okay, in the military are normally part of engineers, mate, I believe. Now, there's not that many fires. You know, I'd say it's a very goddamn boring job. You will get some tickets out of it, but I wouldn't necessarily recommend it. I would say go to engineers instead, where you can get a versatility of tickets, but also the mateship, rather than just sitting around for the rest of your career, because at the end of the day, when a fire happens, there's not many of you guys. So what tends to happen is you sit at the end of an airfield for your entire career, as opposed to when we go to different locations, we will have the SES on call, choppers on call, etc. So, mate, I would recommend, for more fulfillingness for yourself, I would say go for engineers, okay? If not, see you on Patreon, one-on-one phone call, and we'll work out a plan to hatch that one together. So, where are we? Bam. Let's have a look at this. This has only just occurred. In the last couple of years, the social justice warriors have got in. There is a definite quota for females to get in the army and to drop the standards at all costs for females and Aboriginal soldiers to get in to meet quota. Wait 2 seconds. Hey, hello.
Hi, I'm going to bed now.
Okay, sweetheart. Okay. Can you do me one favour? What? Can you say get well, Rob Kent?
Pardon?
Can you say get well, Rob Kent?
Get well, Rob Kent.
The poor man chopped his finger off.
Oh, wow.
His index finger, the one you point at Daddy with and say, go and get me McDonald's for breakfast.
Sure.
Okay, my beautiful girl. I'll see you in the morning, okay?
See you in the morning. Love you. Bye.
Turns 10 in 3 days. 4 days.
Love you. Bye.
Love you too. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, so there's a definite quota that's going on where we've got a gender, I don't know what you would call it, disparity, you know, where it's not going for competency, it's going for quota only. And that is going to make highly competent females in the army angry at those that get into the army by some other pretense. And the girls that get in now may not even want to be given special treatment. Now we've seen Arms Corps, infantry, cavalry, artillery, engineers, etc. Now there's a different fitness standard for them, different to PESA. For non-arms corps, so 7.5 on the beep test, 8 push-ups, 40 sit-ups, etc. Now this is dropped for those that are in non-combat roles, down to 8 push-ups for males, 4 push-ups for females. You can do the reading there, 6.1 on the shuttle run. That's 1.5 levels taken off the requirement from what it was only 6 months ago, and that's disgusting. That's disgusting. So we need the double standards to stop, because once you cause resentment inside a team by double standards, that is not on at all. Same deal, if a female soldier in the military has a baby, she should get a year added to the time she must serve, a return of service obligation, because she'll be out of service for 1 year while she has that child and has to stay at home with that baby. You know, it's important that they do. Okay, so they should have to give that time back as well. And Nicole would have her own views on that. And you know, it's important to have these questions mulled over. Righto, we'll go back to you guys for a second. 4 push-ups is shameful. Look, it is. It is. You know, I don't think that they need to have a fitness standard whatsoever going in the military. There should be a BMI and a look at someone's body type to see if that is conducive with the medical examination. But what I believe would be a better alternative would also be that you cannot march out of Kapuka until you have actually passed not a PFA, pre-enlistment fitness assessment, but an actual basic fitness assessment. The full 2.4 kilometre run, the push-ups for the standard of the age, etc. But again, like I said, there should be one test for all, and it should be about 40 push-ups. Okay, if people can't make it, then they need to make that score. And if they don't, they just get back squatted, okay, or get put into something, a holding platoon until they do. And we do that for OH&S reasons, guys. Occupational health and safety. I said that you're a professional athlete when you're in the Army, and I mean it. Jordan, hey, good chat today, mate. It was quick, but Kaz, thanks for your conversation earlier today. The site got back to me just after we spoke. He said something similar to myself. I need a medical waiver based on how severe the ASD is, which is very low. Now, Jordan had a conversation with me today and gave me permission to be able to use his case as an example and explain that he has got something similar to Asperger's syndrome, and that can be a disorder. You know, unable to take the social cues from others, which can come across as insubordination, or not being able to project yourself in a way to foreign forces, dignitaries, etc. in a way, because remember, friction always meets the lowest ranks. It always seems to occur that way. So there is reasons for different things, and I wish you all the luck, and you'll know in the assessment session whether that pans out, mate, and I wish you all the best. Great chat. Jay Hayes, lots of laugh. Brady, I've been on the boat captain stubing. I've been aiming to do BFA standards. Yep, don't aim to do it. You got to beat it. You got to be well above it, because I tell you what, when you're doing nighttime live fire shooting at a movement box, you know, with live rounds, and your friends are in front of you, the less fit you are, the more chance you're going to kill one of your friends, like Alec Baldwin, because your dexterity leaves as your pulse rate goes up, your fitness drops, your concentration levels fall, you become a burden and a danger to the team. It'd be like having huskies where one of them is less fit. They can only either drag that other husky or they're going to move at his speed, and that might not be the speed that the Eskimo wants to travel at. So, honourable and dishonourable discharge. What would this look like? I don't know. I don't know what it would look like. What sort of advantage would it give? Would it give some sort of preferential treatment to resumes? Is it something that would allow you now to be allowed to go onto the base after discharge, that which should be after 10 years, I believe, after 10 years service, to be able to use gyms, swimming pools, but not go to any units? You know, and again, you can't also go there at PT times, but you'd be able to go onto the base, go to the pool, Olympic swimming pools. You'd be able to go on there, go to their actual gym, etc. You would have a special identification card for honourable service paying you back. That'd be a beauty. You know, it'd be great for your family too. Yep. This one, I reckon you might like this one, Mr. P, and I reckon, and we did used to have things like this on operations. And Nicole King, what do you think of this? I honestly think I've got ADHD. I think I do too, NK. I think I do too. I watched Lauren's stream today about don't diagnose ourselves with things, but when you've got ADHD, I think you know it. I think you know it when you got it. Johnny, Zach, hey everyone from the West. My God, what a joke. Everyone's a winner. Everyone's a winner syndrome. Everyone from the West, my God, and what a joke. I don't know what you're saying there. Maybe access to the medical facilities too. Nah, Dave, nah. Nah, the medical facilities, mate, there is not enough of them to go around. The line goes out the door for people trying to get out of PT, you know, for injuries during training, etc. Thanks, mate. I'll be sure to keep you updated. Thanks, Jordo. Nicole King. It was awesome when you could do this. It's a shame they took it away from us. Yeah, I was in for 24 years and got a retired veteran card, a retired military card, but you can't do anything with it. It might as well be a Pokemon card in a prison. It's not worth shit. And it's grey, which makes you feel even older. So we're almost there, team. Field promotion. I believe that you don't have to do courses to get your stripes in the Air Force, your first one. You shouldn't have to do one to get a field promotion in the military. That should be based on you're a senior soldier, and I want you and everyone else to know it. It comes with Velcro so you can rip it off just as fast as you can put it on. But what a better way to say, Dave D, fantastic job. Come out here, son, before we get on the trucks. Pull that one off, some other dickhead, and go, you underperformed. Shh, rip it off. This one, whack. And that gets slapped on your shoulder. You're a Lance Corporal. You don't get paid any extra. But what it does come is power, privilege, and allows you to have a louder voice, within the section or the call sign, etc. So there's advantages to that. And then the sub 1, sub 2 equivalent, your junior leadership training course, mixed with your core specific tactics course, etc. Capability course, special training, commanding. Then once you've done both of those courses, then you get your section commander's ticket, your 2 stripes, etc. But 1 stripe should be able to be put on or ripped off just as easy. And I reckon that'd be a great way to give someone an on-the-spot, well done, son. G'day, Mr. P. I am on the spectrum of autism. I'm sure I'm on multiple, mate, but it's not a savant. That is core subject. Yeah. Lauren, hey, how you going, love? Well, everyone was wondering how you're going. I hope you're well. My cousin got his second hook and got it removed 2 days later for being late. There you go. That's going to happen. Okay, here's one too. Once you've done a specific amount of time, and it should be sergeant and upwards, you should be given something that is like a mentoring, recommended or not recommended, to be able to come back and be a battalion, a squadron, a troop, honorary member, which means that you come in and each year you can re-qualify or be told it went to your head, dickhead, see you later, don't come back, enjoy your sherry, piss off. And what happens is you come back if you're in the local area, and again, you can come onto that base. There's an area where you go to, you don't go near weapons, etc. And what you do is you come in and you become a council that can be given little missions by the RSM as Customs and Traditions commander there, but also from the CEO of the unit. And what they can do is they can handball a young soldier who's having a hard time. Nicole, you'd love this one. So that you go, come with me, and you grab that soldier, then take them for a cup of coffee off base, or sit down and mentor them. So we look after each other like the French Foreign Legion do with their older soldiers. But it also allows us to give someone, the due respect for the time that was served in the uniform, which may be taken off them due to the rigours of service, where they lost their job due to service-related injuries and illnesses. Okay, there's 2 to go. We need to embrace the F out of social media. We need to allow soldiers to be proud to be soldiers. We need to allow them to be on Facebook, to be on Instagram, to be on YouTube. Right? We have media officers, we have legal officers, we have the military judicial system. They know when they're breaking the law. If they're going to do this, they should be able to be proud of their service and be able to embrace that. And then it becomes like a free advertising for other people to join the military, stay with the military, see realistically what is occurring. There's videos coming out from different perspectives, the Rashomon effect from different companies that are all going up. So people are going, we're getting inundated with this most exciting shit, SAS Australia, every day. Love it. And then someone like Nicole King or Mr. P or Deuce Oz can look at it and go, you know what? I looked at the infantry stuff and I didn't really like that, but I did like what the engineers did. Or it might be someone that goes, I am a perfectionist, which is the reason why I want to go to artillery and just work on those drills and be the best person at turning that screw 1 hub to the right. in the unit. Simon Powell, it's been a while. I've still got this here for you, mate. The question is, will you wear it? Will you use it? Will you make it go flat as you make yourself a flatter version of you? Let us know, Simon. I will drive out there. I will drop it at your front door if you're not there. If you need it, if you want it, if you'll use it. If you won't, tell me you won't use it and I'll pass it on to someone else. Davey Penson, I can't quite make it to Vietnam at the moment. Jay Hayes, my tongue feels like a cricket pitch in Mount Isa because of the tubes you've sent me. And I've got what I'm sending you right here. I just haven't sent it yet, my friend. You're a champion, Westside. You really are. Daz, enjoy your art time, Lauren. What are you painting? Lauren is a fantastic painter. She's probably got ADD too. Magnifico. Could that be easily comprised by foreign countries? No. Because the whole thing, Magnifico, would be none of this information just about is a black art, mate. You know, and you'd know that you're not allowed to show the inside of crypto locations. You're not allowed to take it into live lessons that are occurring or about equipment. No. One of the biggest mistakes we've done with the Australian Army is give secret clearance to private soldiers. They don't need it. They can't keep a secret. You know, they don't need that. They're not getting sensitive information. And if they are, chances are they're already in theatre and they still manage to fuck it up and tell people anyway. And the last one that I believe would keep people there and put people in a better boat. Remember what we said at the start, Jay, and that was soldiers, people that want to be soldiers, don't tend to join for the pay. The pay is not bad, especially if you stay up in North Queensland, etc. You know, the conditions are fantastic. The free medical, the half rent, you know, the rental assistance, you know, the free medical, all the different things, the leave entitlement, amazing. Okay, but I believe that financial services, it wouldn't be a hard stretch for them to come in and there could be like a crypto club. That people could come in, there could be a stocks club. I'm not a financial advisor. Yeah, but it's better than getting no information from anyone and spending every single cent on cigarettes, Forex gold, right, and kebabs and fast women that don't intend on shaking your hand for longer than a couple of minutes. So what I recommend is financial advisors go in there, turn that curb, tell people not to spend everything. When you're coming back from operations and you've got $80,000 in your bank account, you know, they should give you a sit down as a volunteer to those lessons to allow you to make decisions on behalf of you and your family on what you can do with that money before you spend it on a trip to come back like you're a fat kid in Willy Wonka's chocolate factory or Augustus Gloop. Because I made a mess of it every time. I did. And I wish that someone had spoken to me. Lauren, please leave a thumbs up. Okay, we're going to watch this one quickly again. For those that came in late, this is what tonight was about. This is all about, you know, keeping people in the military because it costs the Australian Army a fortune for retention. When someone gets out of the Army at 4 years, and that's most of them, and they get out, and this was their dream career, that was 4 years because either someone talked them into getting out, or they had a dickhead above them or beside them, and they got out for the wrong reason and then regret it for the rest of their life. That sucks. So this is what it's about. Hey team, how we going? Welcome to One Take Introductions with Kaz. And we're here to tell you tonight, for all of those that are members that are currently serving, thinking about serving or discharged, that this is the holistic video that is to offer solutions to the reasons why retention is such an issue with the Australian Army. We got you in. You came in not for the money, not Cameron, for the perks of being a soldier, but for the calling, following the footsteps of the Anzacs, etc. You didn't know why you wanted to join. It might be to follow a family member. It might be because you want a life of adventure on the last frontier. I get it. But not everyone will, and they're going to try and talk you into leaving the military. So tonight I'm going to give 10 solutions that the Army could implement, that Minister of Defence could look at and go, I like that, Kaz, tell me more. Chief of the Army, Chief of the Navy, Chief of the Air Force, or the Chief of the entire ADF, Angus Campbell, I'd be more than willing to sit down and say, how could we implement these things to keep the retention up, to keep the soldiers in, to reward the soldiers for their service, and to keep people in the straight and narrow and not cut off the umbilical cord of service way too early, because we miss and we lose the best soldiers way too early. And a lot of the incentives that would keep people in are free. So let's talk about that tonight. Make sure you subscribe. If you don't, you're a twit. Like if you do, and if you don't, put a thumbs down, but then put a comment later on. Righto? Can't wait to see what your response to this is, because these are no-brainers, and they're from 1,000 conversations what have happened with my mates, my colleagues, my comrades, who got out of the army too early, most of them, and they were better than me. All right, guys, you don't need to be the best, but you need to finish what you start. That's what we're doing tonight. Take it easy. That's Kaz. One Take Introductions, out to you. Hey, got some good messages there. I hope you enjoy this, team. And because the whole thing is, I want you to stay in your dream career. And I want you to have the rewards of 20 years service. I want you to be able to relax after you've given to the nation, look it in the mirror, accepted, enjoyed all the scars and sores you've got, because they're going to be coated and bubble wrapped in stories as well. We've got Ricky here, or Rookie, as they'd like to say in New Zealand. Hirani? Hey, Kaz, at Singo, Sarge Higgins is our sergeant. Sarge Higgins, and was showing us your videos. Fantastic. It means I'm over the target, and I should be in Singo soon. I'm just waiting for another invite. I couldn't make it because of the rule restrictions of COVID. But I'm hoping to get up there and spend a bit of time up there next year, and hopefully do a few weeks up there residential, doing interviews, public speaking, and really sitting down with the soldiers and getting in their head and letting them know with honour, whether it be in Gallipoli, okay, whether it be in one of the active platoons, that it is a mindset they need to maintain to get out of School of Infantry as quick as possible. And if they can't, then have a plan B, and then we work them through that, because every military plan has a second course of action. Nicole King, you can do it. Steve Webb, Mason Thomas, the US Army has about different sergeants. Yeah, I don't like the US military rank system. There is way too many. And as a matter of fact, when they see our rank system, sergeant is one of the lowest ranks in the US Army. But it is one of the highest in the Australian Army. So when they see a sergeant, platoon sergeant, someone that's done 14, 15 years, okay, in the Australian Army, and they see you over there, they think it's the 2IC of a section. Not even section commander, not even squad leader. Yep. It caused a lot of confusion. It does. And they don't have a sergeant's mess. We do. Sergeant's mess is one of the most exclusive clubs in the world. Even officers can't just stroll over and come in. They have to sign in. But once you become platoon sergeant, you actually can, not platoon sergeant, sergeant. You go to sergeant's mess, as there as a warrant officer, etc., and you do your conversation where no one can overhear, and you solve problems without paperwork. Great thing. And you don't appreciate it until you lose it, until you're out. I'm actually the honorary I'm an honorary sergeant at the School of Infantry sergeant's mess. Mason Thomas, yes, I'm assuming that each of them build on the last, whereas ours will have all the responsibility thrown in one rank. Well, we're the army that does more with less. We've always been that way. Simon Powell, Rafi, only did 12 years. I joined the Air Force when there was 21,000 members. When I left, there were 13,000 numbers were cut. I didn't know that. Simon. Wow. Is that because technology? Deuce. Kaz, what's your opinion on what's going on in Afghanistan? It's good for the rest of the world. What's happening in Afghanistan now, that now they will go back to tribal confusion. There is no enclave of coalition forces in the centre, which can be the communal target for everyone asunder that doesn't wear a uniform, that can prey on those guys. It's very sad for the people, but guess what? There's a lot of countries like Afghanistan, you probably haven't even heard of them. I'm supposed to be tonight doing a presentation on Rwanda, on my thought process of the worst things, not held back, not quarantined, the very worst of the things I did and saw from Rwanda. But I'm going to have to give that a break tonight, and I'll do that tomorrow. That's a different place again. And the Central Republic of Congo, even worse. Lauren, lots of laugh. Jay, I don't know what's going on there. Stephen Seagal was saying something. Hey, Kaz, really loving your channel and videos. Just want to say cheers for all the good content, mate. Later, mate. What a good name it is. If you are subscribing tonight, team, let us know so that we can actually do a bit of a call out for you and welcome you to the channel itself. Because Streamlabs at the moment, the alerts are gone. It doesn't say when someone's dropped some terces. It doesn't let us know when someone's subscribed. All of that has been taken off, and I can't get it up there on the interface anymore. Jesse Marks, g'day. Rwanda was a horrific tour, and so many vets suffered badly from it. Yeah, it was terrible. And the first tour was as bad as the second. You just never hear about it. Thinking of joining a ceremonial reenactment group, Juice Oz. I didn't even know we had them. There you go. Guys and gals, I don't know if there's too much more to talk about here. I just say, Kaz, what are your thoughts on going for medic? I was denied infantry for colour perception. If I train hard, can I still be a combat medic? No, you won't be a combat medic, but you can be, because a combat medic is someone who's already in those call signs that then does that as a side skill, okay? But what you can be is a medic like Hopi, one of the most professional soldiers I've ever worked beside, is in the Corps of Medics. Someone like Coco Quirky, you know, again, fantastic, got horribly wounded in Afghanistan, thrown higher than the top tower of a swimming pool out of the back of a Bushmaster and done the Frosby flop onto the dirt, and now he's a public speaker out of Townsville. A man with many kids, fantastic guy, a medic as well. The medic, it's not like the movies, team. It's not like the movies. You'll spend a lot of time, okay, when something's a serious enough injury, normally they'll go straight past our medical staff and they go to a civilian hospital anyway. You'll spend a lot of time being a scab lifter, looking after people that have been punched out on Friday, Saturday, Sunday night, looking after people that have busted their knee running up Trig Point, and sports injuries and stuff like that. Some horrific injuries on operational theatres, sometimes doing med caps in places like Rwanda, Cambodia, Afghanistan, Iraq, etc. No one knows what you're going to have in store, you know, but it is a job, and we want the best people to be medics, because at the end of the day, when you hold our hand, when we hear your soft voice, that gives us confidence that we've got someone as professional with the Band-Aid as what we are with the bayonet, and that's a big deal. Yep. The last place that you want quota is in medical people. You want the best people there, don't you? Bailey. G'day, Kaz and everyone. Good to have you here, mate. Cranky. Are you still cranky, mate? He's actually duking it out with Carl P as being a special K. Bailey Weir. Hey, Deadma. I don't even know what that means. Typo. Okay. So, guys and gals, let's go over them quickly. Again, I'm not going to actually describe these, but I'm saying the whole point about this is things that Peter Dutton or the Chief of the Army or the Chief of the ADF or Air Force or Navy, what you could put in that costs you basically no money, and I've got to add one to it. Okay, so most PT should be off-base PT. That way also civilians see us. Okay, they look up to us. They see our fitness. You know, it makes people think, holy shit, maybe I need to go and do something now. It's contagious. It's a great thing. 4-day work weeks for below sergeant, and that gives you a chance to punish a soldier and go, you just gave up your 1 day a week off. Thank you very much. 20-year pension should occur for 20 years service. That's fair enough. 2-way reporting of NCOs on officers to keep them from going children of the corn. Less double standards, righto. One standard for everything, whether it be arms corps, non-arms corps, etc., especially before deployment. Honourable versus dishonourable service, acknowledgements of that and certain things for that. Field promotion, no course required for the first stripe, so we can rip that off you and punish you as easily as what we can reward you. Volunteer mentor branch post-employment, so that you can be recommended to be an extension of a volunteer branch. Police have them as well. That'd be a great one. More exposure to social media, so people don't need just Kaz here. You can hear the truth of others that are still serving, having actual on-the-ground live updates on non-secret or sensitive information at the actual training areas. Fantastic. And financial services that could be provided for soldiers to teach them about money before they're old enough that they're desperate to find an alternative, because that's another reason why some people get poached. The last one would be there should be enclaves of houses around Australia in townships that need a few more people that are law-abiding, that are capable of kicking the ass of the local dickhead. And what happens there, it might be 40 or 50 houses where soldiers with PTSD, with soldiers with injuries that still need to be part of the herd can go there. Ballina would be a great spot. If anyone's watching now, I'd go. And basically they live beside each other within these hamlets. They don't own, they're allowed to rent. And basically they're there renting those properties as part of their pension commitment. And they can lose the rights to that with alcohol-related incidents, but we'd police ourselves. And that would allow us, Air Force, Army, Navy, to be able to interoperate, even have police there as well after a certain amount of years service. And this would help retention, because there'd always be a carrot that is waiting in front of you that says a few more years, a few more years. Ultimately, you'll lose your career because someone else who doesn't share your passion talks you out of the only way that you want to put food on that table. You should never be ashamed of doing what you do best. Yep. And how was that fight with Justin Gagey, and Michael Chandler yesterday? Warriors. Absolute warriors. I had to look away. Did someone say Bundy? No, you're not allowed to drink that anymore, Simon. No more. We want to see the best version of you. Wrong opinion. Street watchmen, just like in South Africa, criminals think twice. There you go. Guys and gals, it's a wonder they don't have these conversations. The chips that you don't put on a poker table is the same as winning. A soldier that doesn't get out because someone sat down, put an arm around him and said, go and get changed into civilian clothing. Let's go out and have a cup of coffee and maybe some Eggs Benedict. Or why don't you go home, son? Go and sit down with your missus. Yeah, and I'll meet you this afternoon and let's have a sit down, whatever. What's the real problem? Are you okay? Because normally people get proud. And what they'll do is they'll embrace a course of action and then they can't pull up before they hit the mountain. And then we've lost a great person forever that could have been retained with a little bit of compassion. You got to know when to put an arm around a soldier. G'day, Kaz. A little late to the stream, but it's good to be here. Volcom Tech, it's great to deliver, mate. This is a little bit different. We've almost run out of subjects for the military. We're going to start moving away from this soon. We have to. The viewership has gone down significantly, which tells me that either my commitment to this channel is either not meeting the standards required or there's just too much on there. So let's shake it up a bit. I'll never waste your time, team. No matter what subject I put up there, there's always a message. There's always a message. So make sure you watch the videos, support the channel, supports you. And Jesse Marks, great idea and maintains the comradeship and mutual support. Civvies have no idea. You know what? It may even be the last bastion of the last frontier that makes someone join the army just for that. Curbs them from, I'm not going for a job, I'm going for a career. This is me forever. Fantastic. Lauren, good work, Simon. It's much better that way. It tends to compound folks' problems. I'm not sure what that was about. Some people used to drink Bundy and Coke, no sugar. Yep. I've heard vodka and soda water is actually pretty good with no hangovers. Will Butterfield. Kaz, those are some great ideas for holding on to our soldiers a bit better. Cheers for the stream. We just got to get these ideas up to the government. We do. And I've got no problem with sitting down with Peter Dutton. I was there when he failed to do the spillover when he was at the QT Hotel with his family in Canberra when he was denied that, and he was very emotional. And I didn't know much about him, but I've grown to really respect him and the things he stands for since then. And I've had some great conversations with subscribers on Patreon just recently that we cannot have these topic conversations here. I have them with Lauren all the time. And their ideas and their solutions. You know, when you see a problem, you should have a solution, not just a bitch about it. Democrat Party USA, you can't help them now. They're off the reservation. Mr. Frost, hey Kaz, I'm an Army cadet, and a lot of people say don't take it too seriously. What does too seriously look like? Okay, cadets is a stepping stone to the military, sure. But most cadets never do it. Don't stay in there too long. Don't try and become king of the kids. It gives you nothing other than the teamwork, customs, traditions, etc. It's fantastic. It adheres to Remembrance Day. It adheres to Anzac Day and all that. I get it. But what they're saying is be careful it doesn't affect your schoolwork, which in turn can affect your career if you choose to go from there and be a fighter pilot or a Black Hawk pilot or an engineer, you know, or an infantry soldier, whatever. So, you know, your actions about doing well at school should matter. You know, when you go for your career, going for your military career, if that's what it is, it should lead into it. Don't worry about it, mate. You just do you. Do well for school. Okay, respect your parents, and you'll be all right. Let your actions determine your fans. Nicole King, vodka, fresh lime, and soda water. It's so nice and refreshing, but can be dangerous. I'm sure it can creep up on you. Shum, g'day. What do you think about Heston Russell? Look, I quite like him. I really do. I like the moral courage. I don't think it's going to go well for him in the end, as far as, you know, he gets my vote for sure. You know, but once you step out of line and stand up on that wall, you become a target as well. And unfortunately, we love taking down those with moral courage. We really do. And community can't understand what actual great men look like anymore. As soon as you stand out, no matter how good you are, people try to take you down. Elon Musk. Julian Sticker, have a good night, team. You too there, Giuliano. You know, sound like my favourite bottle of alcohol that I used to have with Yuzo. Nicole King, outcome, Lightyfoot, to bed for me. What's the time? 8:55. We're almost on the hour. We've got 5 minutes to go of your questions, team. We respect and love all your questions. Let soldiers be seen in uniform in public again. It fosters pride. I see what you did there. We're talking about alcohol. You threw Foster's in. I totally agree. In Townsville, everywhere you go, you're absolutely immersed. You've got armoured vehicles beside it, the lights. You've got vehicles heading towards High Range or going north towards Tully. You've got helicopters flying over. You can hear weapon systems, you know, all the time. You've got your slouch hat on in the shops. You're having coffee beside soldiers everywhere, getting discounts at Subway for being a soldier. PDI's nightmare. Manuel, that's shithouse Dave. What's the go of having an ECN 343 if it resets? Would you leave? I'm not sure what that's about. I'm not sure what that was about. Huh. Okay. Guys, this is your last couple of seconds to get some questions in. But understand that it is so important that we cherish those that take the step forward, that wear a uniform, potentially forever. Mr. P, he's not here at the moment, 34 years. What sort of stories has he had? How many special occasions has he not been there for? You know, how many aches and pains does he have? Right? Right, so that's my crypto brother. I'm in cryptocurrency now, so I'll probably lose all that. You got to be in it to win it, don't you? 40 Mike opinion on the rack. I'm thinking of joining one armoured. Armoured Corps, man, my second favourite corps. You know, they share the FIBA with us, the forward edge battle area. Okay? If I wasn't going to be in infantry, I'd be in cav. But now, everything's motorised, mechanised. So it doesn't really matter too much. Okay, someone asked me a quick question. I'm going to cover this one now. And I'm bringing out a video in the next couple of days with questions that you guys have asked me. And it's going to be a production, not a stream. And that was, why is 2RR the only light infantry battalion? Now, light infantry means you're not encumbered by a carriage agency, whether it be motorised, whether it be motorised, mechanised, etc. Light infantry means that you are part of a battalion, and basically you can use any carriage agency, whether you can use helos, whether you can use naval, 2nd Battalion, Royal Australian Regiment, amphibious group there, whether it be mechanised, whether it be motorised, whether it be by foot. You know, they have the most skill sets for the most amount of roles. They can interoperate with all of them, you know, and you don't need a hell of a lot to be mechanised or motorised. You know, you get in. If you're not the crew commander and you're not the driver, then you've got no job until it's time to get out, wake up, okay, get out of that air conditioning, and then head out and do either split left or a brake left, or brake right. Don't sleep in the wheel ruts and don't get past the second road wheel. Okay, guys, gals, that's about all for us tonight. I hope you enjoyed this one. It was jam-packed, spot on. Peter Dutton, if you're watching. Angus Campbell, sir, if you're watching. How about you look at some of these things, because you're losing people between your fingers like the sand in the hourglass. These are the days of our lives. And they won't come back, but they will regret getting out. I guarantee it. Let's keep them in. Let's look after them. Let's listen to them. And you might just get 40% of them stay. And that'd be a win in anyone's book. They took a chance. This is a leadership dilemma. Make a decision. It's on you. See you later. See you later, Simon. Take it easy, guys and gals.